Murder, starvation and execution await the most haunted team in Cornwall.
Can we go now, please?
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. This ruined prison has seen many a death sentence carried out. This building was once dark, damp, rat-infested, full of misery, pain and death. And it's said that many of the souls that died here still remain. This is the terrifying Bodmin Gaol.
Situated in the heart of the Cornish countryside, the jail was originally built in 1779 and was designed to hold 100 captives. But a population surge soon resulted in chronic overcrowding, with women and juveniles also imprisoned. Law reforms failed to halt this rise in crime, with crowds flocking from across the country to witness the public hangings that took place outside the prison wall. Records show leniency to be in very short supply, with many meeting their maker courtesy of petty crime. From murderers to those who saw it fit to steal a cow, each perpetrator met with the same agonising fate. But how many victims retained their grudge, and which felons will we meet tonight?
I've just walked through the gates of Bodmin Gaol. I know just how much terror, pain and death went on in a place like this, and I know how much of it will still be recorded in the stone fabric of the walls of this building. I can find all the records of the people that were executed here. We've got lots of records of people that were imprisoned here. I'm just not sure who the ghosts are. So later on tonight, I'm hoping we're going to find out.
Objects are said to fly across these cells as if thrown by unseen hands. Also, murderous screams are heard and people have ran from here in absolute terror.
There have got to be an awful lot of tormented souls still lingering around here. You just imagine that the terror that they're going through, trying to sleep for the last night, knowing that at 8 o'clock the following morning they're going to hear the heavy footsteps of the jailer coming down the corridor, unlocking the door, taking them outside, and then they're going to be publicly strangled to death in front of a large crowd of people.
Here, in what used to be the chapel, the ghostly figure of a priest has been seen many times. Also, the feeling of utter depression has been experienced.
One of the most amazing things that was told to me earlier by one of the owners was a gentleman a little while ago came here, sensed there was someone following him around, and when he left and went back home to Plymouth, for at least a fortnight afterwards, he said that there was someone with him. Someone seemed to have followed him out. There are so many tormented souls still here, some of them that don't know they're dead. The only way that some of them are ever going to gain release is by following us home tonight.
These condemned cells held the poor souls awaiting a terrifying death. It's these people that make dark, ghostly shapes and cries of anguish that unsuspecting guests hear. We have 24 hours to find out.
Surrounded by a maze of towering walls and dark corridors, and with so much ground to cover, parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe explains some of the difficulties that may lie ahead.
Kieran, how on earth are we going to cover this place? It is absolutely enormous. There are so many different cells and so much paranormal activity. Where do we start?
From a simple logistic point of view, there aren't enough people to cover the entire building all at the same time. What we are going to have to do is have, I guess, a parapsychological full-scale attack with all of the machinery, have the lock-offs, have trigger objects, have the MP3 recorders, have the thermal imager, try and have as much equipment down there as possible because it is such a huge place. In one place we might be focusing on experience, another place we'll be having the monitoring equipment.
What about temperature drops here?
There's a real issue with some of the cells, some of the rooms in this building, because there are open windows. And so, of course, if people do report a drop in temperature, there's going to be a natural source for it. In some of the cells, there are no windows. So with a thermal imager and also any other temperature recording device, we'll look at the ambient temperature and have that set off for, 10, 15 minutes to get an idea of what the temperature is like. If then people report a drop in temperature or a cold spot, and that's objectively picked up by the monitoring equipment, then that's of interest.
Both of our psychics, Derek Acorah and David Wells, arrived in Cornwall separately and with no previous knowledge of who or what to expect from within these walls. We were all fully aware that this investigation would be far from pleasant, but we had to serve our time at Bodmin Gaol.
I know there's a spirit man, thank you Sam, because Sam's just informing me, who's here, very interested in our movements here. He lost his life, did he, Sam? What did he do? He murdered. He was a murderer. He was bitter that he was caught after killing the man. He took the man's life. Did he take the man's life here? No, he was housed here. And then he was taken and he was what? He was put to so-called physical death. How did he go? The hanging, okay, the hanging. Now, he's around a lot of this large building, this jail. He moves around. So, in actual fact, maybe he's not... Oh, what? Can you give me some more with him?
Just a name, if you can.
Can you give me a name, please? William? Thank you. William. Can you give me a surname? William Lightfoot. William Lightfoot.
Okay.
William Lightfoot.
And what year was he here?
What year was he here? Just put it here for me if you can. 1, 8, 18. Come on. 4. Oh, 1840. 1840.
That was when he was here?
This is when he was here. But something to do with the figure 133. I feel that stands 13th of something. What does it mean? The 13th of February. The 13th of February is very important for this man's anger. And he, what? He comes here with who? His brother? His brother. Okay, well, what, was he here as well? They were incarcerated together. Higher.
For similar crimes?
Was it for the same crimes? The same one?
It appears that one of Bodmin's most infamous inmates is confined to his final dwelling place. But would this same murderous intent be just as prevalent as we move through to the upper levels of the jail?
I pick up cruelty. I pick up a person, a man, who was just absolutely dedicated to hurting. Oh, one that was dragged here, this is the energy, was taken and suffered this cruelty. And I feel his energy has been dragged through this area and by a very cruel person, very cruel. And I feel he was the one that used to detail it's like I said, the only way I can put it, he's trying to, this jailer, he's trying to get these people to, and this is the cruelty of all cruelties, to admit to their crimes. Here, as we come to this end, here, this section, this is where most of the negativity, where he would, this horrible soul would energize and re-energize, and it's a reenactment of the horrible, debaucherous slaughter. Oh, it's disgusting. Taking people's bodies apart and getting away with this. Oh my God.
And this would specifically have happened in this part more than any other part? You feel it's stronger here?
I think so, yes, yeah. In actual fact, here. And here is a horrible, horrible negative